Is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Humane Society, Krystle Noble back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Nice. Just not enjoying the heat now.
Yeah, this hot thing. And all right, now I got to ask, because for folks that don't know, she's with child. So she's been with child for a few months. The summer heat, does it different as a pregnant mother, or
my God,
is it affect you way more being pregnant, or not so much?
Normally, I'm hot-natured to begin with, and I like it 60s, 70s.
Yeah.
When it's 72 degrees, I'm like, ugh. And now that it's 100 degrees and plus, I'm like, oh.
Now it's so you were getting hot flashes in 70s. Now at 90, you're like, oh no. So. What about cravings? Any weird food cravings yet? Or is that...
Ironically, only one. And it was vanilla ice cream with puffy Cheetos.
All right.
And tried it. It wasn't bad, but haven't had it since.
Yeah,
it was a one-time thing.
What if you just put the dust?
I don't know. I just wanted Cheetos and vanilla ice cream.
All right.
Maybe because Cheetos give me heartburn and vanilla ice cream calms it. And so I thought I'd just put the two together.
You got the yin and yang together there?
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, but you had that, wasn't bad, but no cravings for that since.
Not really, Just occasional, like, this sounds good, but not like I have to have it. And it's not anything weird. It's just like grapes and cheese or tomatoes and cucumbers.
Okay. So no Bluebell flavor coming soon on the Cheeto flavor vanilla ice cream. Homemade Cheeto vanilla.
I don't know, Bluebell. Hey, listen. But, Frosties are always a thing that I'm like, Frosty.
Can't go wrong with
typically when I think about a Frosty, Wendy's is already closed.
Yeah.
I'm like, why?
Yeah. Here's a good, you got to do a little work, but it's not a bad substitute. If you go to Farmer's Country Market and get the tub, it's a tub of their chocolate ice cream. The tubs, not Neapolitan, but the chocolate one. And you scoop that in a bowl and you mix it up. It tastes kind of like a Frosty.
Yeah.
And it's, you got to work, but it will get the job done.
I had a friend who would microwave her ice cream for about 10 seconds and mix it.
Yeah.
And then drink it with a straw.
But the creaminess factor of that ice cream makes it match perfectly to the Frosty, to me, in my opinion.
Okay.
So if you like soft serve ice cream or Frosties, that's a good alternative for you. Because that's what I do.
On my way.
Until I become a billionaire and I have my own soft serve ice cream dispenser in my house, this is what I do in the meantime.
So the future GoFundMe page for Mike Winters is going to be to purchase him a soft serve ice cream machine.
That would be one of the few. Like if I hit the lottery or something, I probably wouldn't live large. But I do weird things and buy like an ice cream maker because I'd want that. I just want to walk by my house like a cruise ship anytime I want and just go and put it into a cone and eat it. That's what that would be my life.
Are you going to have the little buffet next to it that's got like all the sprinkle toppings?
If I had my druthers, yes. But because I'm married to her, that will not happen. So.
Well, you could put healthy, you could put some cherries, some strawberries.
I could.
And then a little farther down where you put like the Butterfinger Crunches, Reese's Crunches.
Yeah.
Just have the healthy right next to it.
A toppings bar, if you will.
Yeah.
I like it. But we got to hit the $1 billion first, and then we'll talk about that.
GoFundMe.
But one thing you don't need $1 billion to do is to adopt a loving pet in your home.
No, you don't.
But you do have to be financially responsible because owning a pet is like owning a child. It's you've got to. It is not cheap. You've got to feed it. You've got to take care of the vets, and if you're not willing to commit to that, then you need to reassess being a pet owner. But if you're willing to do all that and you have a loving home, please come adopt these pets.
We have, there's a lot of people out there that, of course, not everybody makes $1 billion, and not everybody, is living from cent to cent.
Sure.
But, in the happy middle, where you have, if there's an emergency, you don't have to stress the fact that you're going to be able to take care of an animal.
Sure.
You always want to consider, can I afford an emergency visit?
Mm-hmm.
Because depending on the vet you go to, it can range from $250 to $500.
Mm-hmm.
And, when you call nonprofit organizations, we don't have that money to pay that out for you.
Exactly.
And so a lot of people assume that because we are a humane society, we're there to pay their vet bills.
Yeah.
We're not.
No, we're here just to find homes for
Right.
abandoned pets.
And so here recently, a lot of people have been calling and asking why we're euthanizing our animals. I'm not sure where or what they're seeing, but had some pretty derogatory messages sent over the Facebook Messenger, making threats and accusations, and we haven't euthanized.
No, the Humane Society is a no-kill shelter.
Like, neither has Animal Control recently, because we've been able to either adopt them out or send them to other shelters.
You haven't had a space problem yet, where that's the only time they euthanize over at the Animal Control is when they physically do not have space.
Right.
And so
because we pull from there, other rescue groups pull from there, so that's helping them to keep from euthanizing. And we have Animal Humane in Albuquerque that helps us to keep from having to euthanize. Typically, when we do have to euthanize, it's a sickness that's not treatable, or an aggressive animal that is not handleable that has gone kennel sour. But it's not because we don't have room or we don't have space. But I'm not sure where they heard it from, but somebody had sent us a message asking us why we euthanized our entire kennel, and just a whole bunch of derogatory comments after that. And I was like, that's not us. We didn't do that. And I know Animal Control didn't either, because I was there that day.
Sure. And you're right. They're for those who don't know, they're right next door to each other. So there's constant conversations back and forth.
Yeah, I can literally walk out my front door, take 40 steps, and walk right back to the house. So.
Yeah, and so yeah, if you've heard these things, they're not true. And this is one of those reasons I tell you, don't get your information off social media. It's not the most reliable place to get that. And,
if you have questions or concerns, you're more than welcome to contact us. We will answer them. But we don't just you've been here 19 days. It's time for you to go. That's not how we operate our shelter. When an animal enters our shelter, they are there until they find a home with us, or we transfer them to another shelter to find them
Absolutely.
a home.
I don't know how many times you've brought pets in here, or we've talked about pets that have been there 6-8 months.
We have Raider and Garver, who have both been there since December of 2020.
Yeah, they've been over a year.
Months.
Yeah, almost a year now. Yeah. So please.
No, that's not healthy for an animal to stay that long into a shelter environment. But if they can adapt,
it's not like you're trying to keep them there that long. It's just that no one's found a home for that one. No, like if they can adapt and they can
maintain in the shelter without having any issues, then until they find a home or we can find them somewhere to find them a home, they stay. Because when we take them in as a commitment, as if they were our pets.
Sure. I would say if you're the folks, especially the ones making derogatory and threatening messages, get your facts straight before you just weed. This is the problem we have in society. People just go guns blazing,
right?
And with a shred of information that may or may not be accurate, and it creates problems. Now, if you want
to know, hey, are you the shelter that this happened at?
Ask. We'll tell you.
Ask,
talk to
but
you.
You don't have to be vulgar about it, and then if the answer was yes, then you could express your emotions after that, but don't start off being a jerk right away, because that causes people to look at you in a different form.
Well, you instantly put everyone on the defensive, and people are going to be coming from a defensive place instead of a place of trying to fix the problem when you do that. And to be honest, if you're making threats on social media to nonprofit organizations because you disagree with them, perhaps you should seek some mental health counseling. You've clearly got some issues you need to talk about and deal with. And I'm not joking here. I'm trying to be serious. I'm saying, look, if you're on people's social media pages making threats, your cheese done slipped off your cracker. You're too attached, man. You gotta unplug and you gotta talk to somebody, because that's not healthy. And it's only going to spiral worse. Because now it's threats, but you're going to rationalize it in your head at some point that your threats are justified, and you're going to act on them, and that's the path you're going down. So please get some help if that's you going on there.
And then we've got a few people that are very upset about our fence policy, because they live in apartment complexes that don't have fenced-in areas. Well, just because your apartment complex allows you to have a pet, and you can put it outside on a chain or a leash, that doesn't mean our policies are going to allow you to.
Sure.
We have the policy set in place for many purposes. It's been set in place for many years for many reasonings. I can't tell you how many times I drive down a street and see a dog with the fenced-in yard chained, let alone a dog without a yard chained. The whole purpose of the fenced-in area is to keep an animal off a chain, off of a leash.
And if you're
taking them for a walk for exercise, that's different.
Yeah.
But to put them outside to go to the bathroom and to use a leash, to chain them to your patio so that way they're not wandering around, that's unacceptable.
Yeah, I would even say if you're one of the exceptions to the rule here and you're saying, you know what, I live in an apartment, but I'm going to do everything I need to and all that, animal control doesn't have that same restriction.
No, they don't.
And you can rescue a pet and do a loving home and everything for them, but the onus is on you, and you better make sure you're doing everything you're going to do there. But the Humane Society, their policy is no, we're going to make sure the environment that every one of these pets go to is an ideal environment for that pet. And a big dog or a dog without a fenced-in yard is just not ideal for that pet because they have to go out and go to the bathroom. They have to do and I know most parents here on pet parents are going to go through all of that, but unfortunately, there's a lot of us that don't, and the Humane Society isn't going to because every person's going to come in and say, I'm going to be fine, I'm going to be okay, I'm not the same, and you know what? Probably you aren't, but everyone says that, and they can't go by that. So
one bad apple ruins it for all.
Exactly, and unfortunately, that's what it is. So that's the policy. Now, if you'd love to bring a cat into your home, no problem. Or if you really are that person that says, you know what, now a little dog, I'll take it, fine. Go to animal control, adopt there. You're rescuing a pet. Guess what? You're freeing up a cage there that'll rescue, keep pets. It's
right.
all, you're all helping pets. But the fence policy will not change in that it's for the benefit of the pet, not you. And unfortunately, sorry, but that's the pet's priority is number one there.
And the majority of the apartment complexes, they have pet restrictions to where it can't be over a certain weight or over a certain size. And they have stipulations you have to do as well. So with, being able to modify like your patio and stuff like that, if your apartment complex approves that and you're allowed to put up a fence to keep the animal on the patio, that's fine.
Sure.
But if your apartment complex doesn't allow it, we're not going to allow an adoption there unless it is a cat, because cats are strictly indoors.
Yeah, cats are indoors. And of course, every pet that is adopted out of, either location will be spayed or neutered before it's in your possession. Yeah. And with the city ordinance, has to get microchipped as well, too. That's just, that's the ordinance now. So every new pet that goes out will get that chip. And then I always tell people, if you own a pet, don't rush out and get the chip until they've got to go to the vet anyway. I'd say they got to go to the vet for their regular checkup or their rabies shots. While you're there, get the chip. But I would make a special thing, especially if it's an indoor cat or something like that. If it has a penchant for being out, then maybe you should.
Obviously, if you hear of like a microchip clinic, then that would be something you
take
could
advantage
do as well.
of it. Sure,
obviously, and they do have those occasionally, like have the shot vaccination clinics at Tractor Supply. I know they've had a couple of microchip clinics at like Cahoon Park.
And I imagine now that we're coming out of COVID, we'll probably see more of those pop up again here too. So,
but like to microchip, if your animal is already at home and it doesn't have to go to the vet for anything particular, and your animal stays close to you, then yes, wait until you take it for like its routine vaccinations.
Please, I know people get frustrated and upset with some of these policies, but if you come from this place of understanding, maybe it'll help you at least understand why it's there. The Humane Society has created these rules not for the benefit of you, but for the benefit of the pets that they're trying to adopt. All these rules are not in place to make it easier for you. They're in place to make sure that these pets go to a safe, fun home environment, a good environment, and these are the rules in place. So it's not there to try to frustrate you or to deter you from getting a pet. It's there to just make sure that these pets who have already been probably put to the ringer because they're here instead of, you know what I mean? They runaways or owner surrenders. There's all kind of reasons how they end up there. We don't want to create more stress and trauma in these animals' lives because let's face it, when you hear like a dog bite incident or anything like this, 9 times out of 10, it was owners not doing the right thing. It wasn't the dog's fault. The dog gets blamed because, pit bull, blah, blah. But all of this is environment, training, and teaching the pet. If you provide a loving, well-trained environment for that pet, you're going to have an awesome pet. Almost every single time. I don't care the breed. I don't care the type of dog. If you treat it like family, you're going to get a good dog. And these things are in place to help ensure that's what happens. And I'm sorry if you don't like the fact that you can't own one because you don't have a fence. But to be honest, the Humane Society they're looking out for the pet, not you. Sorry. So, it's just the way it is.
And like, I'm trying to put this in radio terms. We screen people. And while screening people, their actions towards us is what helps us decide whether we're going to adopt an animal to them or not.
Sure.
If you start getting belligerent with me or any one of my employees over one of our policies, that's going to put you on the do not adopt list. Yeah. Because if you're going to be upset and irate with us simply explaining a rule,
sure,
what are you going to do to that animal
when the cat poops on the floor or the dog poops on the floor or whatever? Yeah.
We look at things when you talk to us and you tell us, and a lot of people don't realize, we're telling you things that we shouldn't be telling you, and that helps us make a decision too. We are a private nonprofit, and we have the right to adopt to whom we choose and whom we do not choose. That's where we differ.
Sure.
Is we have the right to choose.
Yeah.
And if we don't feel you're a fit home, we will not adopt to you.
Absolutely.
And we have policies in place to protect these animals because there's too many people out there that don't care and that just want lawn ornaments and will just throw them outside. Yep. It's too hot to have an animal just tossed outside, regardless of the breed.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just...
Let me throw you outside, leave you outside, no shade, no water, and see how you like it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's... Exactly. You're there for the benefit of these pets. That's priority one. And that's what I was explaining. And that's and what you guys saying. Look, we're here as a private entity. We donate and people make donations because they want us to make sure we find good homes for these places. That's why they give you money, because they care about these pets. And and I know there's probably a loving couple that lives in an apartment that would be an awesome owner for a pet. And you're probably right. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are in your situation that don't do that. And because of that, we have to treat it as such to protect the animals. Now, like I said,
against you personally.
Like I said, animal control will adopt to you if you don't have a fenced-in yard. They don't have that stipulation. If you are truly a loving pet owner and can do what you say you can do, go talk to them over there and like you're doing the same thing. You're helping them, but like I said, we're doing it. This is all to protect the pets. And I know people get frustrated and all that, but understand it's from a place of love for these pets. And if you can understand at the end of the day, that's why every decision's being made, then you probably won't be so mad, and you'll be like, oh, look, I get it that, we want that dog to have a great home. That's what I want. Why am I fighting the people that want the same thing to do that?
We've had people make comments to us that it's harder to adopt a dog than it is to adopt a child. And sarcastically, I tell them, well, technically you are adopting a child. So if it's not something you're willing to put forth an effort to, then don't bother.
Sure.
Because if you're not going to take the time to go through our policies and procedures, then why do we want to waste our time with you?
Well, we are in a pet overpopulation problem because of the very things people are doing that you guys are trying to prevent from doing.
Right.
And that's why this is here. And it's not going to fix the problem overnight, but it will fix the problem over time. That's why we're, people talking and getting these feral cats spayed and neutered and things like that. This is all part of the big plan. You can't. And we, the community, have to do our part, and that's being responsible owners, and that's what this is about. So.
Yeah, and it is, if you feel offended, don't mean it by any means.
I understand. Yeah, I get it. People are like, I don't, but
with all the sensitivities nowadays, you can't say certain things because of whatever.
Sure.
But this is the way it is,
The Humane Society, the priority is not people. The priority is the pets. And the people are needed to help make this happen, but all the rules are in place for the benefit of the pet, not the person. And that's by design. So.
And they're not changing.
Yeah, and they're not changing. That being said, how are we looking for pets that are looking for homes right now?
I think we have almost 50 dogs right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
The cats were over 20 cats right now. Some of them are about to come out of quarantine.
Okay, I know last time they were all in quarantine, I think 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they're getting their second sets this week. So at the beginning of next week, middle of next week, they'll be out of quarantine.
Okay, so if you need
for
to
adoption.
adopt some cats next week.
Ton of kittens.
Ooh.
One adult. The rest are kittens.
Wow, so young cats.
They're young cats.
And that's what most people want is kittens. So hopefully.
It is kitten season.
All
and
right.
typically this time of the year is puppy season too. We haven't seen too terrible many like litters of puppies as we have kittens. We still have people on waiting lists to bring in cats.
Yeah. You know what? If you don't own any cats or any pets and you're interested in getting a cat, I recommend, and since there's a bunch of kittens, grab a sister, brother, get a combo there and get two. Because
they're going to already have a bond with each other. They're going to be playful. You're not going to have to acclimate them like you would to strangers.
Gives them some familiarity in an unfamiliar world, which means they'll acclimate better. And then when you're not home or when you're don't have time to entertain the cats, they got each other to keep company. And during the day, if you're gone all day, two cats, it's just a better situation for everybody on that. So think about it. Now, I understand if you're like, I can't afford two cats because I got to feed them and bet. I get it. But if you're thinking about it and you want to maybe go and doing it first time or bringing new cats in and bringing new pets to the household, grab two on the cats. It actually is not a bad deal.
It's, quite funny because cats are typically like more so loner as to where dogs are clingy to people.
Mm-hmm.
But when a cat, is grown up in a litter and kept with the litter, when it's separated, it has anxiety or like depression from being separated. Eventually they get over it.
Now, is that kind of why you see a lot of adult cats do the kneading, like they're simulating kind of trying to get milk from mama kind of thing? And
that's just them trying to get comfortable.
Okay, I didn't know if that was part of that mental associations there or something.
They need to get comfortable. They need to nurse on mom.
Yeah.
They need to make biscuits in the air.
Yeah.
It's just.
I just didn't know if that
purring is technically not a sign of happiness in a cat.
Okay.
It's a self-soothing.
Okay.
So when a cat is purring, it's soothing itself.
Okay.
Or it means happiness, or it means it's about to strike.
Ah.
So purring means multiple things.
Okay.
But the majority of the time, household cats are, purring because they're happy in their environment. But when you hear like a cat in a strange environment purring, it's self-soothing.
Gotcha.
Because the purr mimics the heartbeat of the mom.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. That makes sense. See, I know my cat's happy because she does I say, hey, what you doing there, Hannah? And she's like, meow. Because she's got the purr going. And that's happy. I know that one.
So more so is a different story.
Well, our cats talk to us constantly, or at least me. Kim sometimes, but I have conversations with the cats all the time.
My husband thinks I'm hilarious because I have arguments with the dog. But it makes it even better when the one dog argues back.
Yeah.
Like he's mouthy. And you tell him, no, don't do that. And he's like, arr, and I'm like, I said no sassing. Arr.
Oh, we got our youngest cat, Bella. She's a sasser. Like just last night, Kim went out. We have our patio. We have a closed-in concrete patio and everything. So every once in a while, if we're out there doing something, we'll let the cat walk out there with us and stay in the little She can't get out. It's right there in our thing. But she goes out there, and it was towards when the sun was going down, and she was loving the sun and the heat, and she was sprawled out there and sucking it in. And Kim was done and wanted to go in. She's like, Bella, let's go. And the cat's just hissing. Nah. And matter of fact, the cat's walking inside to the house, and she's just hissing while...
my God.
And it's just her griping. She doesn't do it, but that's her way of just expressing her displeasure.
I am not happy with the decisions you have made me do.
She literally talks back to you and hisses. She's like,
Well, so Titus is the back talker, and he's hilarious because he was in the kitchen and he was trying to knock the trash can over. Puppy, and I was like, no. I said no. Titus. And I'm like, stop it, I'm going to spank you. And I'm like, and it's funny at the same time. It's not funny.
And you're getting mad, but it is cute. And you're kind of not trying to laugh. Yeah.
And then, everybody's looking at me like, you're arguing with a puppy. I know what I'm doing. This is how I keep sanity.
That's right. We speak our language. We got this. So, but that's the beauty of being a pet owner.
It is.
Too. That's the fun part.
It's the different personalities in every pet, and you've got to find something that matches you and your home. As to where, somebody might not want a vocal dog that talks back. Me, I think it's hilarious, and I just antagonize it sometimes. But, I want a dog that's personable to me. That's, when I talk to the dog, they're going to stare at me with those big eyes and make me feel like they're truly listening to me. When in reality, they're just like, are you going to give me a treat? I don't know what's coming out of your mouth. You're going to give me a treat.
Yeah, how much more movement till I get some food?
Yeah. This is treat time, But, and then somebody might not want a dog to pay that much in tune to them when they're talking.
That's probably good to be a cat owner because they're a little more independent.
We ask people, when you're interested in adopting, you're not adopting by just a photo. You're coming down, you're physically meeting with that animal.
Sure.
So you can see the personality of the animal because the personality they have might not match the personality you want.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. That's why you come and visit and, it's vibe. You get a vibe and who knows, you just gravitate. You can't quite explain it sometimes. It's just like, all right, that one's speaking to me for some reason. It's just one of those things.
You build the connection with an animal. And now I know like some pictures, like you might see a picture and you might just have like an instant reaction to that animal's picture because the way it looks, the way it's holding its head, or the ears are flopped in a certain way.
Sure.
But looks aren't everything when it comes to an animal.
Yeah.
Their personalities can be complete polar opposite.
You're adults, right? You've dated before. How many times have you done that when you're dating? Looking at the picture like, man, that picture's not what I thought it was. Ooh, the boy howdy. Yeah.
A picture is worth 1,000 words, and I got
1,000
one for
lies
you.
too now in this day and age. But yeah, you're right. You got to meet them. You
have to physically interact with them. You know, have one-on-one time with them to see how they're going to react to you. Because believe it or not, animals pick their owners. If they do not like somebody, they're going to let us know that I'm not comfortable with this person.
Sure.
You might be completely in love with them, but this dog might be like, come near me 2 more steps and you're going to get a toe nip.
That's true. They got their preferences and things too.
So, some don't like kids, some do, some love kids.
Yeah.
And that's why we have the requirements.
Yeah, exactly. And like the other big one too is if you are adopting a dog and you currently have a dog, there will be a meet and greet at the Humane Society just to make sure that relationship is going to be manageable for you.
Right. And with it being hotter, we're only scheduling those early in the morning.
Okay.
So on the 100+ days, after 9:30, 10 a.m. in the morning when it's already 90 degrees outside, no more meet and greets because we do it outside.
Sure.
And the asphalt's too hot.
Gotcha.
And we don't want to blister or burn their pads. Because if you do it inside in a confrontational area, you're more than likely going to have issues.
Gotcha.
Littler dogs are a different story.
Well, that's
but it's
neutral
the big
territory probably, whereas the adopted dog may claim territory in that room.
Right.
And that could cause problems where outside it's no territory claimed here, and they can kind of meet on neutral territory.
Right.
That's the logic behind it.
It's like meeting at McDonald's,
Yeah.
Instead of meeting at your house.
It's like those Craigslist meetup spots that they created as well.
Yeah. My house is not one of those.
But I just saw the time. We better wrap this up. But folks, if you are looking, I know we did a lot of don'ts this time, but if you want to bring a loving pet to your home and you've got the means to do so, there is a lot of great pets right now that looking for great homes. If you're a dog person or a cat person, don't matter. They got you covered. But like I said, for the cats next week,
it'll be middle of next week. We'll have the cat room completely open because everybody in there will have both sets of shots.
Good deal. But in the meantime, I know we were just talking about, but you can kind of get
you can look at them on the website. You can everything that's there. In the shelter is on the website.
Yeah.
It does say not available, but that just means that, they're either in quarantine or they're not up to weight. But everything, starting, because we do it by date. So the first one that's on the list is the oldest one there.
Gotcha.
And the last one on the list is the newest arrival.
Okay.
So you'll be able to see who's approximately coming out of quarantine by them being first on the website.
Gotcha. So the ones at the top of the list are coming out quicker than the ones at the bottom. So
Right.
that'll be a good indicator. But there you can look and see all the ones you're like, ooh, there's a tabby I love. And you know what? Don't hesitate to call up and say, hey, I mean, like you said, it's longer list like, hey, I saw the tabby or whatever it is on the website. Can you tell me a little bit more about him or her? And that's good. That's kind of, because that shows you're wanting to learn more, and the staff would love to tell you more about him and stuff. And then when the cat does come out of quarantine, you can make arrangements to come and meet the cat and decide whether you want to, spend more time with this cat here. So but in the meantime, if you can't wait, do your window shopping right now at RoswellHumane.org. And while you're there, if you'd like to become a member of the Humane Society, your kids, your pets, your fish, your dog, your house, anything can pretty much be.
If you got a gravel front yard, count your rocks. You want them as members. No.
You can be a member. With that, you get, of course, your newsletters and everything, but you also get a say in at the annual meetings and everything there too, is what's going on with the Humane Society. But that your membership supports keeping those doors open, helping pay for vet bills. That your membership fees help for that stuff, along with the thrift store. That's between your membership and that thrift store. That's pretty much how the income comes in, with the adoption fees, of course. But a lot of that kind of
the adoption fees go right back into purchasing vaccinations and medications for the animals.
Yeah, exactly.
So the thrift store and donations are what keep us going.
Gotcha. That keeps all the extras, the niceties, the cleaning supplies, the paying the light bill, all that kind of stuff. So,
and with it being so hot outside, the thrift store is full of summer clothes, full of swimsuits, tank tops, shorts, boys, girls, women's, adults, kids.
Excellent. So come swing by.
They've officially transitioned from springish to summer.
Excellent. Awesome. So come shop. Give the hours again for the thrift store for
The
folks.
thrift store is Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.
And it's located right next door to the Humane Society there
our
on
building
East
is
McGaffey.
legit attached.
Yeah, right there on East McGaffey.
They're 701, we're 703.
Okay.
We're open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 to 12 and 1 to 4:30. The thrift store is doing pickup. So if you have items you want to donate, call in advance so we can schedule it out.
Sure.
Because I'm obviously pregnant, not able to go do those things anymore.
She's not throwing chairs over her back and carrying those in or anything.
Yeah, I'm not allowed. But, we just need to schedule accordingly to what staff we have scheduled so we can make sure that somebody who can do the proper lifting can go out to pick up these
Absolutely.
items.
And plus, we don't want people just leaving stuff at the doorstep, because we have people that destroy that stuff.
Take donations Wednesday through Saturday. If you do it during the times they're open, schedule it when they're open.
Yeah.
You're
doing a big favor for everybody.
If you're only off on like Monday and Tuesdays and you have no other option, call on Saturday, make arrangements.
Yeah, we'll figure
get it figured out. So that way it's not being stolen, rummaged through, and discarded, because we have a lot of people that do that.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's the world we live in. So if you can help out that way, that would be great. Because I know some of you look at it as like, oh, it's a way for me to get rid of stuff, which is awesome. That's a good thing. But at the same time, we hope you're doing this because you want to make a difference with the Humane Society. And if that's part of it, then if you can kind of work with them a little bit on that, that'll make it easier and actually be more benefit to the Humane Society rather than cost of money to dispose of stuff. So that's the reason for that. So
food for thought.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, did we get it all?
I think so.
Awesome. Well, come on by, folks. If you want to volunteer and help clean and all that stuff, or help out, I'm sure you can call. Yeah, at thrift store or at the kennel. I'm sure inquire and ask, and they'll tell you how to go about doing all that stuff.
We can.
Absolutely. But appreciate the visit. We'll see you here in a couple weeks.
Yes.
All right.